Hey brothers and sisters, I just wanted to make a video. Finally, I hope it actually works because I've been trying to make videos for a long time now and they haven't worked because of problems with technical difficulties. So that means that I might end up uploading videos out of order just depending on which one works first. But anyway, in this video, I wanted to talk about the tribulation and how it's obviously going to be a horrific time and just a time that the earth has never seen, because that's going to be the time of the testing of those who are on the earth. A severe testing, those who haven't already been tested and passed, like the bride will. Once we're gone, that will mean that we have been tested and that we passed. And so I know a lot of people, I see a lot of people saying, like, pray for my family, that they don't have to get left behind and stuff like that. And for me, I don't really think that way. It's not that I want family to be left behind or that I want friends to be left behind, but at the same time, I've learned to look at the tribulation like a gift from God, honestly, because I think a lot about how, what if there was no tribulation? What if, like, just look at the prophetic timeline of everything that's happened from the beginning up until now, and what if there was no tribulation? What if the tribulation was skipped? That would be horrible, because that would mean that as it is, everyone where they are right now, that would determine where they go for eternity. And we know very well that the vast majority is on their way to hell right now. But for God to allow there to be a tribulation, it's like his mercy and his judgment at the same time. Like, I know some of us, we read Revelation and then we get caught up in, oh, how horrible the judgment's going to be. And it talks about how men are going to want to die, but they're not going to be able to. It's going to be that bad. In fact, they're going to want to die and they're not going to be able to. But if God didn't allow a tribulation, there would be no multitude that makes it out of the tribulation. You know what I mean? And that multitude is going to be made up of just like all kinds of people that we've been praying for. So if anybody's praying for their family members that they won't get left behind, even though like whoever you're praying for, even though that person isn't walking with God like they should be, maybe instead of asking for them to not be left behind, thank God that they have another chance, that God's not just making the cutoff now, that like once we're gone, that's not the end for them. Because if it was, then they would be just, the cutoff would be like those who made it went to heaven and those who didn't went to hell. And God's not done with them yet, even though they are going to get a very, very, very harsh rebuke, having to deal with the mark of the beast and resisting that. They're still getting a chance to be saved. Not to mention, the Lord is going to send his end time army, the 144,000. So they're not going to be here alone, but they are going to get tested, because, if you're praying, God, can you save my family? Can you save my family? God hears those prayers. He hears what you're praying to him constantly. And the thing is, that's how he's going to do it. He's going to take those people who are asleep and just imagine them being slapped as hard as they could possibly be slapped. And I know that sounds horrible, but it's just like, wake up, He's going to slap them in a sense, like shake them violently, slap them awake, so that because their soul is on the line, God's going to deal with them very, very harshly and severely, but still out of love. And a lot of people aren't going to make it, but many people will as a result of the tribulation. So instead of being like, oh God, can you please like spare my family from the tribulation, just thank him that the tribulation probably is his way of saving your family. So don't think of the tribulation as like the worst thing ever, because the tribulation isn't the worst thing ever. The worst thing ever is the lake of fire. And as long as your family members aren't in the lake of fire, they still have a chance. If they're living, they have breath, they can still choose Jesus Christ. They still have a chance. So just trust that to be in the Lord's hands. And don't fret too much over your family. At this point, I realize it's important. Whoa, sorry guys, this camera's doing all kinds of stuff. I've had to like position it in a certain way, just because of complications. But anyway, you guys just know that the Lord hears our prayers and that He is going to answer them. It's just sometimes our prayers get answered in ways that are difficult for us to handle, but don't despair. At this point, more than ever, I realize that it's important to just continue in your walk, continue doing what God has you doing right now. Don't get too caught up in, oh, what's this person doing? What's that person doing? Because everyone has their free will. Everyone has to walk out their own life. And you simply wanting them to change isn't what's going to change them. It's going to be ultimately their own choice if they want to live or die. And by that I mean if they want to choose Jesus Christ or not choose Jesus Christ. So I pray that you guys can rest in that. And I love you. God bless.